Hello everybody, and welcome to my video about what is ROBLOX Studio. Now, you may know what ROBLOX Studio is, you just may not know what it does. I'm sure at least some of my viewers have played Roblox before, so I've decided I'm going to show you guys how to use it. So, first you might want to go create a base plate, a blank slate, or a flat terrain. Or you just may want to choose from any of these things, but I'm going to go with a base plate. Alright, so the technical difficulties are over, and I'm into my base plate. Now, you might not have this specific interface, and you're able to disable certain things in the View tab. Certain things are useful, but for the purpose of this video, I'll keep it simple. I will keep this, I will remove that, and I will size this down a lot. Now we have a nice wide open area to make a game. So, first of all, what game should we make? So, I've decided we are going to make first of all, a basic starter game where you click a button and something else lights up. So, to make this will involve a slight bit of scripting, which I will explain in later sections of the video. Let's just make a simple button. You can drag it around when you have the select tool enabled. If you have the move tool, it'll put little draggers on it. This may be changed as of later time, this video, but at the time of recording this video, October 15th, 2020. There it is. This is what it all looks like. Also, you may have a, most likely, I don't remember what the default settings are, but you're gonna have these. I'd suggest turning it to 45 if you're making very simple stuff and one stud. So you'll just drag it by the little rectangles. These. You can see when I drag it, it goes over one. So pretty much, what I'll be doing is I'll be sizing this up with this scale tool right over here. Going back to select. And over here you actually have, I'm going to move this. You can drag interfaces like that. I am going to make my part really red. That's the name of the color. There is a huge color palette if you have a simple colors. And you also have a RGB picker where you can choose a color from your computer. But for now, I'll be going with solid red. And I'm just going to name it. You can either click on the thing on the name and then wait a couple seconds. Or like around a second. You can type the name. Or you can... Well, I just did it. Alright, you can press F2 and it'll go to naming it. You can press F2 to name it. You can press F2 to name it, and you could type in button. And the last option, actually two more options, you can go over here and click rename. Or you could go into the properties, which is a lot more advanced. And inside of the data tab, there's name, and you could name it button from here. Obviously, that's really overcomplicated. And now we can just drag a second part into the workspace. That's the area that you're working in. And just call this the light. And we'll make it a little cube. Let's move these a little further apart, and we'll name this one light. Now, the simplest light form, and probably the overall simplest, is just using a point light. Or I believe it's just a spotlight. Spotlight, yep. Never mind. The simplest light to use is most likely a point light, where all you gotta do is set the brightness and range of the light. I will put it at 15 range and 5 brightness, so you can definitely see that's illuminated. Now, for maybe a little more warm effect, you could change the color of the light to a yellow, and then you can also change the color of the part to a darkish light yellow. And then you got your two colored parts, and all you gotta do is just keep this enabled, and you have this button right here. And what you're gonna do is you can press this little plus, and it will come a menu where you can choose a object. But you could type in C or click, and there will be something called a click detector. Now, simply, while this doesn't do anything on its own, you can also change how far it can be activated. I will just put it at 15, which is pretty close. Then you're gonna insert a script, which might not show up here, but all you gotta do is type it in here. So after you insert a script, it'll show up as print hello world, and you're gonna want to erase that. All you're gonna have to type is script.parent.mouse-click:connect, and then you're gonna delete that with the delete button. Type function. You can read it autocorrect. I don't care. It really doesn't matter. And then you're gonna put parentheses. It's gonna autocomplete that. You go to here and you press enter. There, you got yourself a function. And from here, you can either do this one of two ways. You can type script.parent.parent.parent.light.pointlight, which is really complicated. Or you could simply do workspace.light.pointlight. That's a lot simpler. And this is a really shortened version. You could do a longer and easier to read version, but all I'm going to do is workspace.light.pointlight.enabled equals, and then I'm going to, isn't it called enabled? Yep, I'll turn on shadows. .enabled equals, and you're gonna want to either type it again or copy and paste it back. Not, which pretty much just sets it to the opposite. And this is actually going to end up being kind of long anyway, but it's shortened by a line or two if you do this. If workspace dot, this is purely optional, but right now the script already works. This is optional. Actually, I'm going to size up my font a little bit so it's readable. Zoom it like this, where you can see the entire script, but it's just bigger. Alright. If workspace.light.pointlight.enabled equals, you have to put two equals because this is an if. This is just putting one equals is saying I'm going to set this variable to this, what is on the other side of the equals. So if I said that would try to set workspace.pointlight or the light.enabled to high, which won't work. We're going to check it, which is 2 equals, and 3 equals, I believe, is exactly, but I don't know if that works in this one specifically. Now, this would mean not equals 2, but that's kind of pointless, so let's say if it's true, then let's just say script.parent.parent, which would be this button, .brick color, which is a little property. You can see it here, brick color. Now, you can't do just really red or really red. There's a specific constructor, which is another word for a kind of, like, there's things called enums, which we'll probably make a new video about later. But these are specific things that only go to specific properties. So brick color dot, let's say if it's true, we'll turn it to red, so you can turn it off. See, it's actually considered a function. And instead of turning this to end, we're going to delete the end and turn it to else and press enter. It'll automatically put everything else in. You could, to make things simpler, I would just copy and paste this, but you can retype it. The only thing you're going to change is from brickcolor.red to brickcolor.green. And that's done, and now we can test the game. You just might want to just put a spawn point in, which is in the model tab, and you move it over to spawn. Yeah, there's a picture on it that'll load in, and you press play, which is in the home and the test tab. It's easier to stay in the home tab overall for beginning. Also, here's a note in ROBLOX Studio. You cannot use escape to access this menu. I'm pressing it right now, it's not working. You have to press this to bring up the player menu. So right now, you can walk up to this button and click it. And see, as you can see, it turns the light on and off. In real game, when your mouse is over this, it'll change colors, it'll change your mouse to some kind of pointer. Now, you can't click on the light itself, but you can click on this and it'll turn on and off. What's next? Well, if you guys liked the Roblox tutorial on ROBLOX Studio, I'd suggest liking the video and maybe commenting on what you liked about it, and if I should do more and what I should do them about. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you all next time.